What's up guys, Spaceman here to update you in the newest PvZ build. Today I'm going to show you my best build on a 2-player map. And we're going to fast forward in the beginning because the beginning is always a little bit slow. But it always starts up with a 14 pylon and we're going to build it on the wall. And we're going to build a gateway expansion because on this map the rush distance is so short that you want a gateway so you can make a defense. Anyways, the build order is 14 pylon, 16 gate, 16 gas, and then this is where it gets kind of tricky. We're gonna build a second gate at 18 supply, and then we're gonna build 20 probes in total, cut probe production, and build the Cybernetics core. And after this, after the Cybernetics core, we are gonna go down the ramp and build a pylon on the low ground, and then afterwards we're gonna build a Nexus. And we are not gonna continue probe production because this is here where the minerals line up perfectly. That if you don't build more than 20 probes, you're gonna be able to build 2 Adepts as soon as the Cybernetics core is finished. As you can see in our top right minerals, it lined up perfectly. So we're gonna build 2 Adepts, and as soon as possible, we're gonna build a warp gate and then our second gas. And after the second gas, I like to build 1 more probe. So we can get the Mothership core and these 2 more Adepts really fast. As you can see in the top right, this line up perfectly, so we only have 2 in the second gas, 2 probes in the second gas, so we can get our 3rd and 4th Adept really quickly. And then we still delay the 3rd probe in the second gas to build a pylon so we can get the Mothership core really fast. And then we build 1 more probe so we have perfect saturation. And after the 3rd probe in the second gas, we're gonna be able to build the Mothership behind this. So as soon as your Nexus finishes, you want to start probe production non-stop. This is where after the Mothership, we are not going to stop probe production at all. And of course, as soon as you hit 100 gas, this is where the build order actually changes a little bit. As soon as you hit 100 gas, you're going to build a Twilight. And then as soon as you hit 100 more gas, you're going to hit a Robotics Bay. So this is... The build order is relying on your gas count after the Mothership. Otherwise, we are only building probes. We're going to build a Robo, and I did a little bit of a mistake. I tried this with a sentry and without the sentry, and I gotta say, if you don't build the sentry, your attack is gonna hit 20 or 30 seconds faster. So I would recommend not building the sentry as I did. I only built it because I want to get rid of the Overlord, but it doesn't really matter because he's seen the Twilight anyways. Alright, so I saw a lot of things, that's why I'm going back, but this is here where you can choose to sacrifice 3 of the Adepts to scout and kill some drones. And of course we saw a 3rd base, so we're not really scared of any kind of all-in. Behind this, we of course, as soon as your Twilight is finished, you're gonna go for Adept attack speed, and we still continues the build probes. And Firecake, as good as he is, he pulled away the drones in time, and he responded correctly by pulling the Queen and the Lynx to kill all my Adepts. So from here, we could have killed a lot of drones, but we only killed 2, and this is going to be a 3rd one. Depending on your opponent's micro, you can get more kills if they don't micro too much. But mainly, you want to sacrifice him to also see if he have the gases in the natural, how many drones he have, because if he doesn't have any drones, then you're gonna build 3 more gateways. But as we saw, he had a lot of drones and he had a 3rd base, so it's totally fine. Back to the build. After the Twilight finishes, we go for Adept attack speed. As soon as the Robo finishes, we go for warp prism, and as soon as you have 150 gas, which is usually when you start the warp prism, you're gonna build the Dark Shrine. So behind this, we only build probes, and then after the warp gate, the warp prism, we take our 3rd and 4th gas. So with the warp prism, we want to focus fire drones. You don't want to kill Zerglings because he's gonna make more anyways. So the main focus here is that you kill drones. And if you look at the unit loss tab, we lost 4 Adepts. He lost 21 Lynx and 7 drones, which means if we look at the unit tab, we can see we are ahead in drones and we're taking a 3rd base. This is where it gets kind of tricky because the 3rd base you want to take the third base before immortal production, because then you can get the third base really quickly. And this is here where I like to hold position and attack with the adepts. And here is a little trick. If you don't see any spore crawlers, like here had one here, if you don't see any, as we did in the natural, then I want to warp in the natural, because that is where he usually have a lot of drones, and the main is usually more defended. If he had one spore crawler in each base, then I would have warped in here, so I can. So the middle line is really close to my warp prism, so I split them one on each base. And if the warp prism is right here in the middle, you can pick off the dark shrine from the low ground over here, and of course this dark shrine over dark temple over here can quickly go to the warp prism. So this middle part, when they have spore crawlers, is a really good spot for the warp prism. Otherwise, you want to warp in over here. And this is where we look at the unit loss tab and say, all right, he lost way too much. As you can see, it's very, it's very green, which is good for us. And even if he had detection, if you look at the unit tab, we had more workers. So even if these Dark Templars were Adepts, we were still gonna be ahead. The third is, of course, I would say when you take the third base, don't even saturate it when you are in this situation and the opponent doesn't leave, because he's gonna, if you're ahead in workers and you build more workers, you're just gonna die to a counterattack. So if you know you're ahead in workers, you can choose to go for more gateways and try to defend. And just a note here, if he didn't leave, like let's say he didn't leave and he killed all my Dark Shrine, we would still be ahead in workers, and even if we weren't, we were gonna follow this up with Immortal, Sentry, Blink Stalkers. And on 3 bases, when you're making a quick attack, you don't want to take your gases at the third base, and you want to have 8 gateways. So when you're making a push, you're gonna have Immortal production, you want to have 3 sentries that you warp in while you're building probe to the third base, because that's when you're gonna have a lot of gas, because probes only cost minerals. And then as soon as Blink is finished, we didn't start it because the game didn't go on. When Blink finishes, you want to push out with 3 Immortals and a Warp Prism and your Sentries and Stalkers. That is where your main army composition, that is what your main army composition is going to be. So if you have Mastlings, you can of course add some Adepts, but mainly you want Blink Stalkers, because Blink Stalkers doesn't die if you have good micro, especially if you are ahead. The Blink Stalker scales really good if you're ahead, because if you blink back the damaged Stalkers, they're never gonna die. Anyways, I hope this was a help to everyone. If you have any question, you're welcome to ask me in the description below, and you can also find the build order in the description below. I also made a little note like which position is good and how you should respond to something in the description below. If you're, like let's say he went for Mars Roaches instead of Marslings. You can find the answers in the description. If you have any other question, you're welcome to ask me in the description. Otherwise, I'm just gonna say thank you guys for watching, and make sure to give it a like if you like this video.